Hey YouTube, it's Sierra, aka Cece the Amputee, and today I wanted to talk about my semi-recent trip to Spain. I went to Spain about a year ago, and yeah, I wanted to talk about two things that I was kind of worried about while traveling overseas. One is being black in an international country, and two is my disability, being disabled, and how well it's accepted in a foreign country. But before I want to get into those topics, I want to talk about how amazing Spain was in general. I had an amazing time. This was my first international trip. I've never even been to Canada or to Mexico till this day, and I've been to 3 other international countries after Spain. But Spain was absolutely amazing. They have endless amount of restaurants. They have tapas bars, wine bars, clubs, bars, like markets, anything you can think of. Spain was a ball. Like, I had so much fun. And the cities that I traveled to was Barcelona, mostly Barcelona and Madrid. I was there in Madrid for about 2 or 3 days. Yeah, so I had so much fun. I was there for about 2.5 weeks. I spent the first 5 days in Spain completely alone, and then I met up with my friend and her cousins that met up with us, and oh my gosh, Spain was so amazing. The food is cheap. Yeah, everything seemed really cheap. The wine, I had no idea that wine can be so inexpensive. I'm used to spending at minimum for very cheap wine here in the States is like maybe $7 to $8 if you catch it on sale. There, the regular price was €1, and which is about $1.50 in the States. I've never, oh my gosh, the wine, and it doesn't even taste like cheap wine. That was the amazing part about it. Spain was great. I had a great time, and it was definitely worth every single penny that I spent there, and I spent a lot of money there, and I can't say enough about it. Like, I had a really good time. So let's get into it. As I said, I had 2 things that was working against me when I was before I booked my trip to Spain. One, I am black. I'm a young African-American woman. 2, I have a disability that is apparent. For those that don't know, I am a below-the-knee amputee, and if I wear shorts, a dress, or a skirt, you can definitely tell that I am physically disabled. The only thing that really worried me was really being black in an international country versus having a disability, honestly, to be completely honest. And these are just all of my personal experiences. This is just coming from me, what I've experienced when I was in Barcelona and in Madrid. Everyone else could have experienced something different, but when I was in Spain, I honestly did not experience any racism. Now, I know, like, when it comes to black people and traveling, especially when you're traveling alone, you want to know that you're going to be safe. Obviously, when you're booking a flight and you're spending your own money to travel, you want to ensure that your travel is going to be safe and you're going to be secured. And of course, that being a black woman, that was one of the things that popped in my head before booking my ticket. So what I did was that I Googled racism in Spain, and of course there were some things that popped up from blogs and vlogs and YouTube videos. Some people say that, you know, they had an amazing time in Spain and they didn't experience any type of racism, and other people said that they experienced racism almost every day of living in Spain. But to me, I experienced 0 racism, and not that I know of. I don't speak Spanish at all. I'm not fluent by any means, but I was looking for keywords like negro, negra, or anything with an N. I had an ear out for that. So yeah, I didn't hear any type of racial slurs or racist terms or what have you. I didn't hear anything. The only thing I can say is that I was called one word by a lot of locals, and that word was morena. And I didn't know what morena meant until I actually looked it up. I saw that it meant not one thing, but a few things. Of course, morena is pertaining to a woman, so it meant like a woman with brown eyes, a brunette, or someone with dark hair and someone with dark skin, with melanin in your skin. That's what they were talking about. But I think obviously they were talking about my skin, and that's why they called me morena. And I didn't know, I thought it was something really bad until I looked it up. After looking up, I didn't even know if I should still be offended by that term, but my friend who came to Spain, she speaks Spanish, and she said it's actually a compliment. It's like it ties into like beauty or something. I don't know, but that's what she told me. A lot of the bartenders, a lot of people at the market, stores, they called me morena, so I just accepted it and embraced it. Now again, I was only in Spain for about 2.5 weeks. So it was a very, very short term. Some people that experienced some sort of racism while they lived in Spain, they've actually lived there. They were there for probably 6 months to 2 years. And of course, when you're there for that length of time, of course, something's going to come up. So those are the people that obviously experienced some sort of blatant racism. I didn't experience any of that, and I know some people will probably say, well, you're a woman, it's different, you know, women experience racism differently. I don't know, but all I can say is that I did not experience any type of racism while I was in Barcelona and when I was in Spain. And also, I also spent about 4 days on the outskirts of Barcelona. It was a really small town, and I still didn't experience anything. People were extremely friendly. They helped me out. They were very patient with the limited Spanish that I do know. But, you know, everyone was helpful, and I mean, I have nothing bad to say about it. Would I go back to Spain again? Absolutely. Absolutely. I had a blast there, and I encourage everyone to get out and travel, especially if you are a person of color. Naturally, we're going to have our guards up, and we're going to think about racism and have that in the back of our heads, but please do not let that hinder your ability to travel. Like, get out and travel. You might not even have a bad experience while you travel overseas. I mean, just experience different countries and cultures and just embrace it, and I promise you will not regret it. It is a great experience. Now, on to being disabled in Spain. People. I don't get it. Like I understand that, you know, looking at me while I'm wearing shorts or something that is showing my leg, yes, my leg looks different. It's okay to look once, twice, maybe even 3 times, but when you stare at my leg and you don't introduce yourself, or if you want to come up to me and ask me a question, like, I accept that. But when you blatantly stare and gawk at my leg as if I look like RoboCop or something, like, I take offense. While being in Spain, I did experience, in America, I do get stares. I mean, that's every day. Most people come up to me and they embrace me, but I do get stares. And I was expecting that when I traveled to Spain. I was in conversation with this one traveler, and she spoke English and Spanish, and we were talking, and we were just talking about our travels or what have you. And this one guy, he just was passing us, and he just stopped and stared, and he was staring at my leg. He didn't even look me in the face, not one time. He was staring at my leg for like 5 minutes, and I just couldn't believe it. That has never ever happened to me before. And again, it's different. This is different. In the States, it's more prevalent because you do have people that have lost their legs from diabetes, blood clots, a lot of people that came back from the war that lost their legs. I mean, see amputees walking around or people in wheelchairs sometimes, but I guess this guy never really saw a prosthetic leg, and I think he was in complete shock because he was like legit staring at me, at my leg, not at me, at my leg for like 5 minutes, and it was very uncomfortable. It started to get really uncomfortable, and the girl that I was talking to spoke in Spanish. I think she cursed him out or what have you, and she told him to leave. He didn't leave, but he, like, it just so happened that a cop car was like cruising by, and she flagged him down and told the cops that we were being harassed, and they made the guy walk away. That was it. But that was the only creepy thing that I've got when I was in Spain, was just that one creepy guy staring at me. The recommendations I want to give people with a disability is definitely make accommodations with your flight. If you cannot sit in a very confined seat or space for 10 plus hours, definitely get one of those priority seatings and make sure you book those, because the flight is very long. For me, being an amputee, I have to take my leg off, and I have to let it lay to the side. Also, make accommodations with the hostel, the hotel, or the Airbnb that you book, and make sure that they also accommodate to your disability. When I went to Spain, I think I stayed at like 2 Airbnbs and 2 hostels. Each hostel had a flight of stairs that I had to walk up and down, and I'm fine with walking up and down the stairs, and they didn't have elevators. So make sure your hostel that you stay at definitely has elevators so that you're comfortable with getting around. And especially when you book an Airbnb, I've had 2 Airbnbs that were on the top floor, and the first Airbnb didn't have an elevator. I literally had to walk up the floor, and I fell down one of the flight of stairs. So make sure that your Airbnb that you're booking has elevators. Yeah, just make sure you're accommodated all around, because you don't want to be stranded because you can't get to your apartment or to your room. That's the advice that I have for people with a disability, a physical disability. Yeah, this is just a really short video, just to, you know, not only tell you guys about my personal experience while traveling abroad for the very, very first time, but to also inspire people that are Black, people that are of a minority background, and people with a disability, to please get out and travel. You only live once. Trust me, you are missing out if you have never ever traveled overseas at least one time, even if it's just for 3 or 4 days. Get out and travel. I think it's so important. I made it to a point where I want to travel every single year, make an international trip every single year, and so far I'm checking my list, my travel list. And yeah, I just want to encourage everyone to get out, travel, have fun, enjoy life. Don't let your disability or your skin tone or what have you stop you from overthinking your traveling process. Do it, get your feet wet, have fun. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.